Welcome everybody to this webinar. It's really nice to see that you're interested in this topic, and we really appreciate it. So we hope you will enjoy today's webinar. So let's start. So what will we talk about today? So we will talk about learning management systems and why it is important to have one in your business. So we will also give you tips on how to implement a learning management strategy, because we find it really important that you first have a plan and really follow a certain strategy before you begin implementing your learning management system. Furthermore, we will explore with you the learning trends of this year and next year. And then, of course, we will dive into the tool, which is SAP Litmos, to discover its features and benefits and why you should consider AMISTA to help you implement it into your business. And at the end, we will, of course, foresee some time for your questions. To make this webinar a bit more interactive, we will ask you some questions during this webinar. So I would like to ask you to go to menti.com, and I suggest you do it with your mobile phone, because then it's easier to answer the questions while you follow the webinar. And when you go to menti.com, you will have to enter this code. So I will give you now 2 minutes to do this. And I will pop already the first question. So our first question to you is, what are your expectations of this webinar? It's very interesting for us to know what you want to know, what you want to learn in this webinar. And so you can put your answers. You can even give multiple answers. So they will appear on the screen and it will be anonymous.
Excuse me, voting still seems to be closed.
I will check that the voting can be opened so you can answer your questions.
Sorry, I was on mute and I was talking. Can I make a suggestion? Do you want me to quickly log in and see how to open the voting for you? And maybe you could just move forward and then we can come back to that.
Yes, and now I will come back to the question. That's
okay, let me quickly log in.
Okay, so then I will pass the word to my colleague Silke, who will explain a bit more about learning management system and how to, why it is important to have it in your business.
So why is an LMS essential to drive change in your business? First, we will talk about what exactly a learning management system is. Wait.
Yes.
There's something with the slides.
Wait.
So a learning management system is a web-based system that allows you to create, manage, deliver, and track online training activities. All your learning material is in one place and is available to the learners. You can create different groups of learners and assign them an assignment, a course, an entire learning path, or an assessment. The entire learning process can be mapped with an LMS, analyzed and adjusted when necessary. It ensures you that the learners have more control over their own learning, which would increase motivation. So that's basically what an LMS is doing for you. There are several advantages to using an LMS. The first one is that learners can learn anytime and anywhere. They can learn whenever they want on their own pace, so it's called self-paced training. They can refresh their knowledge when they want to, and they don't have to wait for a training moment to be offered. They are more in control of their own learning, which motivates them. The training material is always up to date. You can easily add material to your LMS. When there is, for example, new knowledge about a product within your organization, you can immediately make that knowledge available. You don't have to wait. They don't have to wait until a training pops up or you organize one. When something is updated as well, you can also adjust this immediately in your LMS. It has also a broad range of ways of offering material. As I said earlier, you can use YouTube videos, you can upload text, you can use Excel sheets, even animations, and even the use of gamification is an option, which make it more pleasant to use. It can also easily track progress. It gives you the opportunity to generate training reports on different levels. You can look at groups at an individual learner. It's also possible to track goal progress, knowledge gains, to look at the return on investment. Then you will promote a culture of continuous learning because offline trainings require more organization. As a result, those offline trainings do not occur very frequently. So usually trainings are offered when it is really necessary. With an LMS system, training material is always available. So it's actually easier to deliver for you. And finally, using an LMS brings cost savings. Think about the training budget. You don't have to rent a classroom, you don't have to pay the hours of an instructor, and you can save time because you can reach all users at once instead of offering hours and hours of classroom training because you need 200 people to follow the same course in small groups, for example. So these are there are several learning management systems on the market, and you have to choose an LMS that suits your company. So there are definitely things that you should consider when choosing an LMS, and Litmos, for example, is really strong in user friendliness, creating a personal, beautiful interface. So Litmos is very user friendly. You can easily get started with it. You will see this yourself later in the demo that Iris will give you. And companies can also customize the interface to their needs. So Litmos has a lot more to offer, which you will discover later in the webinar. We will now explain how you can implement an LMS strategy to adapt your organization to digital learning. So at first, you have to prepare your team. You have to assemble an implementation team. So make sure you have a core team that is directly responsible for the LMS implementation. Think about a team leader, a project manager, e-learning technology specialists, training administrators, e-learning authors, instructional designers. And then when you have your team together, you have to create a plan. Make sure you can follow a time schedule to meet and try to meet the deadlines. There will always be unanticipated needs and challenges that will come up while the project proceeds, but you will have to continuously expand, refine, and adjust your project plan. So it's possible, maybe, if it's possible, maybe you can use a project plan template, which we at AMISTA will offer you, for example. Next is a configuration. An example of that is look at what data do you need. Think about user profiles. What user demographic data will you need? Where will it be stored? Where is it managed now? Where will you put it in the LMS system? These things also depend on which data you will need for your LMS reports. Then we go to the course structure. There are a lot of activities you can offer, but which ones will you offer and how will you offer them? Will you assess them? How will you assess them? Which notifications will you activate and deactivate? Which reports do you need, for whom, how often, and what will the purpose of these reports? In which format will you need them, and which data will you need? So you have to think about this before you start doing this, and then you can make this. Most of the companies already have an existing LMS system. Maybe it's not always online, but you have to migrate the existing LMS data and the information. Was there already a kind of system that is online? Can you migrate it from your previous system, and how will the migration take place? These are also things you have to think about. Last but not least, there is user acceptance testing, of course. Test the system before it goes live, because that way you can still remove the small mistakes that are crept in during the entire process. That's also very important.
Okay, so just before you go on, just to let you know, your voting is opened. Can you see the results, Iris?
I will check.
We've got 2 people who have actually commented. We are looking for a learning solution, and in the process of comparing solutions, I'm interested to know more about the functionality of Litmos, which I'm sure you're going to cover today, and then learn more about Litmos as an LMS. So there you go, just continue. Oh, and there you go.
So if you have some other answer that you want to post, go ahead. So it's very interesting to see what you want to learn about. And as I can say now, these are things that we will cover in this webinar.
Yeah.
Okay.
We as AMISTA can offer you a Zen best practice methodology. On this slide, you can see actually exactly what this is. So it's a set of standard practices and procedures that is based on real-life self-assessment for an effective implementation to maintain quality throughout the process and make sure you can remain Zen, so you can stay calm during the process. We offer a standard menu to reduce deployment and development costs, which you can see in the next slide normally. Yes, we have standard processes, for example, a methodology to start on a new project. Therefore, we use the ADDIE model, which we will go into in more detail in a moment. We offer you also a template toolbox. An example of a template we offer is our template to draw up your project plan and make your planning. We also have a template to define the branding of your company, and a lot more, of course. Finally, we enable your authors and offer a short Train the Trainer course to make sure you can create your own content and keep it up to date. This means that you will not remain dependent on us, because we will train you in how to use the tools that we offer you. Then we will explain ADDIE a little bit further. So ADDIE is one of our standard procedures. It is about setting up training for your LMS system, because you can also use these elements to set up your LMS system. It's a systematic approach for designing e-learning. ADDIE is an acronym for the different steps in the design process. So the first one is analyze. Therefore you have to analyze the audience, the context, the technology, the objectives. This is also what you do while developing a learning management system. The second step in the design process is the design step. You can use storyboards, for example, make up your library, how will your templates look like? And this is something that AMISTA can offer you, because we do have a lot of templates for you. Then we have the development phase. The development phase where you are going to start developing all your contents. You can use a development tracker just to keep track on where you are in the process. Then you have the implementation phase, which makes your training available, where you are going to make your training available to the learners, and you are going to publish the course. And then at last but not least, we have the evaluation phase where you are going to evaluate the impact of the training and make small changes to training content if necessary.
Yes. Yeah. So now we will ask you a question again. So before we hop into the learning trends, we would like to ask you, what do you think are the learning trends of this moment or in the future? So you can go to Menti again and post your answers. So what do you think it's? Okay, I see micro-learning, yes. Mobile learning, virtual collaborative learning. Again, mobile learning. Maybe I had to take another picture because that gives something away. Again, mobile learning. Okay, so yeah, what I can see that that you are actually quite right. So Silke will now explain a bit. I see VR, hybrid learning. Okay, very interesting. So Silke will now talk about a few of these learning trends, because of course there are more of them, but she will highlight a few. So Silke,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Yeah, so the top learning trends to look for, as you all said, mobile learning, where you can access learning content everywhere and anywhere via your mobile devices. We all use our phone every day, I guess. When you are sitting 5 minutes on a train, you pick up your phone and you can, actually start learning. Same for social learning, learning via social media and online platforms to communicate and collaborate with colleagues. I think most of us just do it every day. We always use a social learning, and we also connect with our colleagues on social platforms. And then we have micro learning. The content is consumed in less than 5-minute courses, typically in a short video or interactive lessons. And this one we will dive deeper into this subject of micro learning. Yeah. So it's very short and sweet for the learner. It is learning in a very short time, and usually it is done in a pleasant way. It's also fast and delimited for the learning. We call it just-in-time training because it has a clear focus and it offers what the learner needs. So time and location barriers are removed. You can do it just when you want to do it. This means that it's a very engaging training delivery method because there is no time for distraction. It's not that you have to sit in a classroom for 1 hour and you can look outside the window. You just take time because it only takes 5 minutes. You can speak of self-directed learning. It is easy to integrate into your daily activities, so it offers you small learning steps with a limited amount of information. You can learn in between and on demand to stay up to date. Then we have the content is short to develop and fast to deliver. Since what you offer is very short, it often doesn't take much time to produce. Then it's also, you can be very flexible in the topics. If the information is no longer current or relevant after a while, you can easily just adjust your training or even remove it. You don't have to change an entire program because everything is built around it. You can just adjust one particular thing, for example, a video that you can change or something. We will now continue with an example of a mobile microlearning app.
Yes, for that we invited Sylvie Engels of MobiTrain because we have a partnership with them regarding this microlearning, and they have a very interesting application for that, but I will pass the word to her. Welcome, Sylvie.
Yes, hello, welcome everybody. First of all, thank you, Iris and Tracy, for having us in your interesting education masterclass. It's an honor. My name is Sylvie Engels, and I'm a partnership director at MobiTrain. I will take you shortly through 4 points that I would like to discuss with you. First of all, who's MobiTrain? It's an ideal scenery that you guys set on mobile microlearning, but more of that to come. What is MobiTrain offering in terms of products and services? The third point is, how does MobiTrain empower and engage with the users? So what makes us different? And what about the integration with SAP Litmos? So first, who is MobiTrain? MobiTrain is a Belgian company. We were founded in 2016, and we have 2 offices in Genk and in Lisbon. We are present in 16 countries, serving more than 50,000 users and 40 clients. So proudly working together in Belgium with, for instance, Hupo Group, with Temoco, the construction company, Ministry of Finance and Justice, City of Antwerp, to name a few. And also very proud to be partner of AMISTA and SAP. Now, what we are offering in terms of products and services to you, we are offering a unique mobile-first micro-learning platform. So the mission of MobiTrain is to empower all non-desk employees with the right content at the right time on any device to help everybody be successful and to succeed in professional and personal development. Our platform, the MobiTrain platform, delivers personalized, branded, and gamified micro-learning content in the flow of work. So as you work, you get the content in bite-sized at your device. It's important for you to know that we offer this mobile micro-learning experience really on top, fully integrated with SAP Litmos. The solution itself consists of 3 elements. First of all, you have the content management system, which is very intuitive, user-friendly for creating, adjusting, and uploading your content and allowing a fast rollout, important as well. It consists, secondly, of an app, the app for the employees, so really inspiring employees with knowledge at their fingertips in a fun and engaging way, wherever they are. So learning, like in the chat is stated, learning in 5 to 6 minutes a day on any advice, anytime. The third component is the dashboard, giving you intelligence back, really about KPIs, access to KPIs, about engagement, performance, and the gaps in knowledge that may pop up when using the app and the platform in order to optimize your trainings. Keywords here in how we empower, engage users, and what is different with MobiTrain is really micro-learning, video, multimedia, gamification. It's very user-friendly, and our mobile first. That's from day one. In fact, we have built our platform with the end user in mind and the mobile first philosophy. With the implementation of also knowledge retention algorithms, we can ensure that users remember the content they've learned. So we are also fueled with machine learning so that we can present learners specific tracks that are most relevant to him or her. To conclude, what is the advantage of the integration between SAP Litmos and our micro-learning solution? Well, the integration to us results in a perfect mix of an LMS and a highly engaging micro-learning platform, creating a really unique experience, a learning experience for everybody, for all employees, so very inclusive. Our sweet spot is delivering those micro-learnings to deskless workforce. So combining the strong proven capabilities of SAP, and in this case, SAP Litmos, with the micro-learning platform of MobiTrain, you can really elevate any learning experience for anybody at any time. And we do this via standard APIs. We connect both systems seamlessly so that you have a single sign-on, centralized data reporting, and one process. So really happy to discuss more in the Q&A to hear your feedback and to have more interaction with you. So giving the word back now to AMISTA.
Thank you, Sylvie. So now we will dive in, of course, into SAP Litmos, and we will discover its features and benefits. So first of all, what is SAP Litmos? The SAP Litmos learning management system gives training professionals everything you need to manage your entire training program. And it's from one secure, centralized environment. So you can manage different types of training. So not only e-learnings, but also webinars, instructional trainings, coachings, but also documentations, and so on. It's a cloud-based solution, so people can access it from anywhere and anytime on any device, as you can see on the slides. So be it your desktop, your tablet, or your smartphone. And what is very interesting is that you can even download a Litmos application on your device via the Play Store, which makes it even more accessible and easy to use. With Litmos, you can train not only your entire enterprise, but you can also make it accessible for your partners, your resellers. So if you have, for example, resellers companies that are geographically dispersed, you can give them access to the platform by setting up multiple identity providers. So it can take up to 15 different identity providers. You can even make your courses available for your customers and vendors. So you can decide exactly who sees what kind of content, information, branding. And it is also possible to make your courses payable by integrating PayPal into your platform. So SAP Litmos has different learning management functionalities. So the first one is that you can create different types of courses in the platform. Like I said, not only e-learning, but instruction-led webinars, coachings. And you can create different types. You can create courses and put them in a learning path. For example, when you have an onboarding, it's really interesting because then they have to follow different courses and you can really track where they are in their learning paths. So it's not only about digital training. You can create instructional training sessions and make it also integratable with your Office 365 account, so with your calendar there. So we will dive into that later in the demo. There are also some elements of gamification, so learners can gain points when completing a course, and you can create leaderboards to stimulate a bit of healthy competition. What also is available is to add certifications to your courses so that your learners have a proof of the training they have followed, and they can download it at any time. Another functionality within Litmos is the assessment, so you can actually create an assessment directly into the tool with different types of questions. So for example, multiple choice or single choice questions. And you can add it directly into your course. So when they finish the course, they can follow the assessment, and you can follow up afterwards the scores into the reports functionalities in Litmos. So for your management, of course, it is important to follow up the trainings, and in Litmos you have analytic dashboards and you can generate different reports there. So something I also want to explain a bit is that Litmos is not only a learning management system. We see that there is a high demand for learning management systems who also have learner experience-based platform functionalities. So what is the difference between these two types of platforms? In a learning management system, the content management is administrative driven. So the trainers and managers and administrators, they upload training content and they assign it to the correct people or roles in the organization. Afterwards, they analyze the performance in the backend of the system. So this is really important for compliancy trainings like GDPR or risk trainings, or trainings that are really important to be followed by your employees. Now, we see in practice that people are more motivated to learn when they have a choice, also in choosing what they learn, and when the learning is also more personalized. So learner experience platform or based learning means that the learners can also create and share content with their peers. The content is also more personalized based on the recommendations, for example, of others. So SAP Litmos is a learning management system, but it also has these learner experience-based functionalities. Okay, so now we will look directly at how this tool works. So I will share the SAP Litmos platform. So when you log in, this is the first screen. Before you log in, I mean actually you see this screen. And so, like I said, you can set up different identity providers for your companies. So when I log in, I am an admin, but I will first explain to you the learner view. So a learner of your company will immediately see this homepage. So as you can see, it's all in the branding of AMISTA, but of course you can set this up in the branding of your company. And you can even set up multiple brands and then decide which team sees which brands actually. So this is what they see, and when they scroll down, they can immediately see some widgets, some matrix. So they see how many courses they have to do, which ones are overdue, and which ones they already have completed. They see these ones more in detail over here. So these are the courses I have to follow, which are assigned directly to me. And I can filter here on the courses that are in progress, overdue, not started, and completed. So if I click on a course, then I can access it, and so there I can see more information. So this, for example, is a learning path with multiple courses. So I follow the first one, and now the second one is available. And so when I click on it, the online training starts. I exit it and I come back into here. So I can see my progress, and I can even set up that, okay, I have to follow these courses in a particular order. So when I have completed this one, the next course will be available because now it's locked. So these are all things you can set up with your courses. You can also add additional references, extra informations, maybe like how you have to follow the course, and what is expected from you. There is even a discussion forum, so you can chat with other peers, and you can, when you have completed the course, review it. So I go back to my home page. So what else can I see on my dashboard? I can see a news item. So you can put there as a manager or trainer or an administrator a message to your learners. For example, when there is an interesting training that is going to be hosted this week or this month, or there is an important message you want to send. You can also see the instructor-led trainings, so really the live sessions that are organized in your company. So you can see the calendar and you can click on a session to see when it's going to be hosted, by who, so who is the instructor, and the location. And if I click on Learn More, I can register for one of the sessions. I can download it into my calendar, but like I said, you can also set up that it will directly be added to your calendar in Office 365. So I go back. These are the instructor-led sessions. So what else is there on the homepage for the learner, the dashboard? You can see your recent achievements. So for example, I achieved a course about cybersecurity and I can read it. I can add favorites. So when I click on the heart icon, it will be added to my favorites to view it later again or to share it with other peers and colleagues. I have a tab where you can see the recommended courses. And then this is very interesting. This is the gamification that I talked about. So this is a leaderboard. And what does this mean? So I put myself on top of it. So actually I gained the most points. So when you complete a course, you can set up that the learner achieves points or a badge. And with that, you can actually create a bit of healthy competition. So you can see who gained the most points, and this will motivate the learners to follow the courses. Because I'm also set up as a manager in the tool, I have an escalation tab and an approvals tab. So the escalations means that if a team lead of mine didn't follow the course, so it's overdue, it will appear here and I can escalate it. So I can send notifications, for example. Sometimes you can set up that you need an approval as a learner to follow a course. So you need an approval, for example, from your manager to follow a certain course. And so it will send then a notification when the learner asks for this course. It will appear here, and then I can, as a manager, approve it or disapprove it. What also is very interesting as a learner is that you don't need to be a training manager or an administrator to add content yourself as a learner. So I uploaded, for example, here a page about the learning trends. And this will be visible for the other learners as well. So this is actually just a Word document, like a blog post about the learning trends that I made available for my colleagues. So this is an interesting feature because when your learners, your employees followed an interesting training or an interesting blog or whatever, then they can upload it into the learning management system and share it with others. So they also have a say in what they learn. So this is the dashboard of the learner. He will see this, and if he sees this on a tablet or a smartphone, it will be responsive. And this dashboard is, of course, also personalized, so you can change these different types of widgets actually that are appearing on the dashboard. So if, for example, you want to remove the news item or the calendar, you can do that. So now let's dive into the other tabs that are available here. So I'm now on the home page, but let's look at the tab on Content Library. And this is the place where you, as a learner, can have access to all of the courses which are made available in the library. So not only the courses that are assigned to you. So you can filter these courses based on the content type, on the topics, on the languages. You can even set up tags as an administrator or training manager based on the skills. So you can set up skills into your learning management system. So for example, if a person followed a course about listening skills, then he will gain the competency of listening. You can filter based on the ratings, on your favorites, and if the course has a discussion forum. Then let's see what's behind the achievements tab. So as a learner, I can see in this tab which courses I achieved. So if I achieved a course, I can rate it. And if there is a certificate linked to it, I can download it. So you can also create then a report of these achievements so that you can share it with your manager or keep a backup or something like that. And here you can see then the leaderboard, so how many points I gained, the badges I obtained, and also which kind of points. What also is interesting is that you can upload as a learner external learning records. So for example, if you followed an external training, you can upload a record of it. So you can give it a name, a date, and you can upload a proof of it. So a document, a PowerPoint, a video. There are different kinds of possibilities. And then as a learner, I can see what is my job role. So you can set up job roles into your system. You can see how many competencies you've gained And these are the competencies in detail. So you can actually set up a kind of competency matrix into the learning management system. Then we have the live sessions. So these are all the available sessions, and you can register immediately for one of them. Like this. So when I click on the registered tab, here you can see for which ones I'm registered and which sessions I followed in the past. So these are the sessions I can follow as a learner. Then you have the messages tab, so you can communicate and send messages to everyone who is available, who is in the Litmos platform registered. Because I'm also assigned as an instructor in the platform, I can see in this tab all of the courses that I have to give as an instructor and when they are planned. And I can even set up a time off. So I can say like, okay, from the 7th of April until the 16th of April, I'm not available, I'm on holiday. Then I can put this in my time off schedule. And when managers or administrators are scheduling these sessions, they can take this into account. I'm also a manager. So when I'm assigned as a manager in the tool, I have here other tabs that I can see. So I can see immediately the learners, the team members, and which courses they have obtained, how many times they were active and stuff like that, and which access level they have. Those are immediately accessible via the Manager tab. And like it was also visible on the homepage, I have my approvals and my escalations. And as a manager, I can immediately create some reports to see how many people followed a certain course, for example, or which score they obtained. So this is available in the Manager tab. So this was the learner view. I will now switch to the admin view. Because I'm an admin, I have also access to the backend actually of the system. And here you have also a home page with different widgets that you can change. So you can see the activity of your learners. You have the newsletters, you have the recently viewed tabs into your system. And when you need some modules that needs to be assessed, actually, they have to have a marking, then they will appear here, and then you can mark them. So as an administrator, you have actually 4 important tabs. You have the content, where you will create the different kind of content types. You have the people tab, where you can add new persons to your Litmos system. And of course, you can do this in bulk via an Excel file. You can set up your teams, and you can do that in a chart view. So if you, for example, have a learning team, a marketing and sales team, a technical team, you can set your organigram into the Litmos platform. And then also very important for an administrator and also as a manager, for example, is that you can create reports. So there are different kind of matrix already available here, like for example, how many courses are completed. And it's really interactive, so you can click on it and see some more information. But of course, you can create reports yourself. So there are some available directly into the system. For example, if you click on courses, you can immediately see how many people are assigned to a course and how many people completed the course. So these are actually called the quick reports, and then you can download the report or you can schedule it. So you can say, okay, send me this report every week or every month with this information. But of course, you can also customize your reports. But to end, I will show you a short demonstration and to tell you actually and to show you how easy it is to upload a content item and how easy it is to assign it and to do the follow-up. So I will now upload a module. Actually, I will upload an e-learning that we made with another tool, SAP Enable Now, which we also implemented customers. And as you can see, there are different file types available. So you can upload documents, videos, SCORM files, and so on. So I will upload now a SCORM file. I can directly drop it here. I will call it Cybersecurity 2021. You can give it a description and you can save it. So my course is now created, it's visible here. This is now set up here, but you need to assign it to a course so that it will be accessible. So I click again here and I create a course. I will call it Cybersecurity. And then I will add the module that I have created. So I can upload another one if I want, I can create a new one, or I can browse through my existing models. And so it appears here. It asked me if I want a copy or a link. I will just directly create a link to it. So this means if I change something, it will also change here in this course. So I'm in the course now, I have one module linked, and now I will assign it immediately to a person, to multiple persons, or you can also assign it directly to a team. So I will just, to show you, assign it to myself. I've assigned it. And then you have these other tabs, which are also interesting. You can then, if you go to settings, change some other settings, and an interesting one, of course, is this one. You want it to be available into your content library for your learners, so I will check this box. You can set up approvals, add topics and tagging, so it's more easier for the learners to search for the content. And you can also set up a due date, for example. So I will save this. Okay, and then I will go back to my learner view. And as you can see, there is one course, cybersecurity, which is added to my to-dos. So I click on it, I see the information. It's now very basic for the demo. I click on it. and my e-learning will start. So this is an e-learning we made in SAP Enable now with interactive book pages. I will quickly go through it. So I followed the course, I exit it, and as you can see, it's completed. So if I go now back to my admin view, and I go to the report tab, then I will quickly recreate a course report. So I'm now in the custom reports section, and here you can customize your reports yourself. So for example, I want now to know if Iris followed the course and which percentage she completed. So I will go to user details and then to my results, and it was a course, so you can set up a report for the different types of content items. So I click on course, and SAP Litmos will automatically also give you some filters, but of course you can delete it and add some more via these steps. So I will leave it like that. So here you can decide, do I want to have a report for all of my users, for select users, or for teams? So I will just now do it for my own. And I will select the course cybersecurity. And then you can also save from, if the course was assigned, or if you want to see after the course was completed, if you want to see then the percentage. He will give you then a preview, a short preview, to see, okay, is this the report that I want? Okay, I have all of my information there. And then you can say, okay, schedule me this report. So I want this report to be sent to me every month, for example. Or you can download it now via an Excel. So it's, like you can see, very easy, very user-friendly, and there are different types of reports available into the system. So this was a demonstration of the SAP Litmos tool. So thank you for listening. And we just wanted to say, why should you choose also AMISTA to implement this tool? It's because we just don't implement the tool at your company. We also set up a strategy, and we have our templates, our best practices that we will also share. We will train your people, and we will give you support. So that is really the strength of AMISTA. So thank you for listening. Yes, and then I will now leave some time for your questions.
Iris, I'm not sure. Had we covered all the questions in the chat? I see there's a question.
Yes.
Course creation is a true authorization tool. And then there was someone who offered, yes, you're offering the content in the small chunks, which indeed only takes 5 minutes of time for the learner. So are there any more questions, anybody?
I think the question about the authoring tool is quite interesting because we've seen how you can upload course content, but is there also a functionality in Litmos which helps you to create new course content?
Yes, I will show you that. So you can upload something you've already made, but you can also create new things directly into the system. You can create assessments, surveys, page of informations, embedded content, so like more like of a video, a link to another website. So there are already some things available to create content items yourself directly into the system. Is that an answer to your question? It's not that you can create like full-blown e-learnings like I showed you in the cybersecurity example. That's not what Litmos is for. It's really a learning management system, but there are some possibilities like these ones to create content items.
That is an answer to my question, yeah.
Okay.
Is SAP itself using Litmos as well?
That's maybe a question for you, Tracy.
I would have to find out. I'm not sure either. I will find out and let you know. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting question.
Some other question? Yeah, you can just unmute yourself if you have a question.
Does Litmos also offer technical integration APIs?
Yes. They have a API functionality. That's not something I can now explain to you in detail, but they have API functionalities to connect different applications. So for example, they also can connect with Salesforce. And yeah, some other integration like Hiris and stuff like that is possible.
Would you happen to know if it can also connect to C4C?
That I have to check. I will check that and contact you for that. I will send you an email with that answer. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's okay.
There, I'm not sure.
Okay, I think that brings us to the end of clearly a very informative session. And thank you to AMISTA for hosting the attendees today. And thank you each of you for taking the time to learn a little more about Litmos and how you can use it or work with AMISTA as well. Thank you, everybody.
Yes, thank you,
enjoy
everybody.
the rest of your days.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.
Have a nice day. Bye.
Bye, Sylvie. Good to see you, Sylvie.
Yeah, nice to see you too.
Haven't
Hope
seen
you're
you in a
doing
while.
fine.
We must have a meeting. We must have a catch up.
Yeah,
Okay.
let's do so. Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.